College basketball is back. Me and my brother James, we are going to share our thoughts on some of the season debuts. We want to talk about some of the freshmen that shined. A couple freshmen that I was really high on did not get a lot of minutes. So that's going to be something I want to monitor throughout the season. But stay tuned to hear our thoughts on the season debuts from Isaiah Collier, Elmarko Jackson, Donovan Clingan, Stephon Castle, Elliot Cadeau. I mean, who knows if we're going to be able to cover them all? Stay tuned. Big shout out to each and every person that has made the Locked On NBA Big Board podcast your first listen of the day. I'm your host, Rafael Barlowe, the director of scouting for NBA Big Board. Got my brother James in the building. Big shout out to all the new subscribers. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, I want you to subscribe. I want you to like, share, comment. That will help us grow the channel. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, if you are a new customer, you get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 if your team wins. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. All right, college basketball started on Monday night. We are recording this on a Tuesday night. The Tuesday schedule wasn't really...
It was light.
It was light. I mean, Indiana played, Baylor and Auburn played as far as just having prospects. So we may have a little time to talk about those guys. But I want to talk about Isaiah Collier first. I thought Isaiah Collier had a very impressive debut, even though he fouled out, and I believe he had 6 turnovers. If you just take the good with his performance, I think that you have to consider him as a candidate to go number 1, just because this draft is wide open. And so I think it's too early to say who can go number 1. It's not like last year. We knew last year on November 8th. All right, Victor Wembanyama was going number 1. Now, number 2, everybody thought it was Scoot. That didn't happen, but like I said, this class is wide open. I want to hear your thoughts on Isaiah Collier. What did you think of his opening college debut?
Well, the speed, the power, like the burst, it was on full display.
Yep.
I recall he had, in transition, you definitely can see, like, he's a fast dude. But I recall he had a play where he drove hard, I think it was right to left crossover, hit somebody with a bump and a pullback jumper. Like, that was beautiful.
That was an encouraging sign. To me, the concern or the knock on him coming into this season was his jumper. And I always felt like he was a much better rhythm shooter than he would be like playing off the ball, off the catch. And the jumpers I did see him make were rhythm shots off the dribble. He made 1 3. He let it fly confidently. And that's actually a scary sight for opposing coaches and defenses, because if Isaiah Collier is knocking down jumpers, pull-up threes,
yeah,
he's going to be a tough. In this game, it's only one game, but he scored on all 3 levels, like you said, the power, the athleticism. What I like about him is, like on scouting reports, we'll be like, man, this guy lets the game come to him, which is totally fine. That's, a positive trait in a lot of guys. But that's not Isaiah Collier. He does not let the game come to him. He just enforces his will, and that's what I like about him. Like, he's going to make an impact. He's not, like, playing it cool. He's just going to walk in and he's going to impact game. Like, you're going to know who he is. Yeah. That's what I like. There's a few prospects in this class, and it's not a bad thing, but you're like, oh, he lets the game come to him. He scores in the Florida offense. Isaiah Collier, he's bringing it.
But part of that is the situation that he put himself into, too. Like, he went to USC. And I feel like he went to USC. USC needs him, and you can see it. Like, we're going to talk about it, but some of these other guys, they went to situations where they're kind of splitting minutes, maybe not playing the minutes that they thought they were going to get. Maybe they feel like, promises were going to be broken. It's game 1, but, Isaiah Collier played 25 minutes and was in foul trouble.
Yeah.
Other guys played 20 minutes, and they won by 30 and 40 points. So it's like, he's in a good situation, and he is going to play the way that he's going to play, and he's going to put his fingerprints all over the game. But yeah, like you said, the pull-up jumper, That was very encouraging. Looking at his prior film to last night's game, the jump shot was inconsistent at times. He shot the ball well. Like I think I have 39% from three in the EYBL, so that's good. But then there was I forget what kind of classic they had. It was like just a mini 5-game stretch where he was kind of off. But you can see like the confidence. He's gonna take the shots, and you're gonna buy him growing as a shooter in the future as he ages and matures.
So I think part of my assessment on him was a little jaded in a sense because I watched him shoot at Impact this summer in Las Vegas. I was there for Summer League. I forgot who I was there to see. He came in the gym, and it was just a one-on-none in a sense, and he was just shooting. But he could not make catch-and-shoot jumpers, like off the catch from like the 5 spots on the floor. But in his defense, I'm like, when has he ever needed to play off the catch?
There's another guy we're gonna talk about later. I have an opinion about that too. You probably already know who I'm talking about top, but go ahead.
I know, but yeah, I mean, I think playing off the ball, I think that's going to be the biggest test. But USC, they looked good. I mean, they looked good. I thought Kobe Johnson played well. I think he's a legitimate top 60 prospect. Boogie Ellis, man, we know Boogie gets buckets. I don't know where Bronny James is going to play. Like, if he's healthy, they're going to carve out some time.
But he's going to be fine, though, because he'll be able to fit alongside those guys, too. As a just athlete, and he can shoot. So I think it's going to work out. Hopefully he's able to play. So,
hopefully.
Something he has every intent to play this year. He's got something coming up, though, too.
Stephon Castle, what did you think about his debut?
So a couple of things. He passed up a couple catch-and-shoot three-pointers.
I have that's in my notes was that he's just too reluctant to shoot. Like he was trying. It's his first game. I feel like he was trying too hard to make things happen.
But he's very unselfish, and I see the playmaking. And you know what? I'm gonna just go out here and say, look, I'm super high on Stephon Castle. Like top 5 high on Stephon Castle. I am a full believer. Watching his AAU tape, watching his high school tape, he makes skip passes.
He can pass.
He's got the best pace in this draft for a guard. I believe so. Yes. So we just talked about Collier. Collier's like fast, R2. Right?
But I feel like he's not wild and out of control.
No. I'm not saying he's
got
wild,
some pace.
But I mean, it's a crossover and I'm gone.
Yeah, he's not playing with his food, as they say.
Yeah, Stephon Castle has like probing space, puts you in jail, and then turns into a quick late. Like I'm really, really high on Stephon Castle, and it's going to be really interesting to see how this season turns out for him. I'm gonna chalk up his first game as jitters, but I'm sold. He's probably my favorite player in the draft.
12 points in 19 minutes, 3 of 5 from the floor, 1 of 2 from 3, 5 of 8 from the foul line. Had 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. What I liked about him was obviously the size and the pace. One of his buckets was a lob attempt that he tried to throw to Donovan Clingan.
But it was off the live ball.
It was live.
He did. I'm sorry, but the only person I've seen make that pass in this draft was Elliot Cadeau.
The live ball?
The live that would make that would attempt to make that pass.
I think Collier would.
We'll see.
But
I'm just talking about going through the film. He's the only one I've seen make that pass.
Yeah, I think Collier would. But yeah, I had Castle was overpassing a little bit. He did make a 3-pointer, but it was a pull-up jumper. I like the fact that they are using him in the mid post.
I have that written down. Post.
I like that. He had a nice spin move bucket, and then one of his assists, he was in the mid post and he found a cutter. So I like the fact that they're using his size. I just like coaches that are creative and they're not just running this cookie cutter offense. If you got a big guard that can post up, take advantage of that, and that's what I like. What I was going to call him Bobby, but Danny Hurley is doing UConn. All right, when we return, we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the debuts. Basically, we'll just talk about the point guards. Make this is the point guard episode, and then the international guy that James wants to talk about. All right, before we get into the remaining prospects, we got to talk about Prize Picks. Prize Picks is daily fantasy made easy. All you have to do is pick 2 to 6 players, and you're just going against the numbers. You're just picking against the projected numbers. Give me an example of a Prize Picks play that you made or had to pick against over the last couple of days.
Hey, man, look. Hey, I mentioned my Pistons guys, man. Summer Thompson, points, rebounds, assists. Hey, Jalen Duren, points, rebounds, assists. Hey, shout out to Tyrese Maxey, points, rebounds, assists.
So for example, you can select whether or not Steph Curry will score more than 29 points, or if Nikola Jokic will grab more than 10 rebounds, or you can predict if Anthony Davis will get more than 2 blocks, or will Dame Lillard make more than 4 threes in a game. And Prize Picks offers a reboot policy so that your entries stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. Now that is new. So for football and basketball games, if you have a player who exits the game in the first half and does not return in the second half, that player is rebooted. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with an injury insurance policy. I was gonna say, if you are picking Anthony Davis, you may need that because he seems to. Sorry if you're an AD fan. So all you have to do is download the app, go to prizepicks.com. You have to use the promo code LOCKEDONNBA and must be lowercase LOCKEDON and you can get a first deposit match up to $100. That is prizepicks.com/LockedOnNBA. All right, second segment. So we talked about Isaiah Collier and we talked about Stephon Castle. If you had to choose between the two, who do you think had the better debut?
Collier had the better debut, but I am a bigger Castle fan. If that makes sense.
So you would say you would take Castle in the top 5 based off of, your research right now.
My research right now and what I think he will become. Now, again, it's very early November, but I see all of the makings. I see the talent. I see the bigger picture.
Okay.
What man Big Crit would say.
Collier had 18 points in 25 minutes, 7 of 9 from the floor, was 1 of 3 from 3, made all 3 of his free throw attempts, had 3 rebounds, 6 assists, but also had 6 turnovers and 5 fouls. So we look at Stephon Castle and we look at Isaiah Collier.
Right.
And I can say we both agree that we like the situation that they went into. I'm of the belief that if you are a top college player, you have the luxury of picking your system. It's like maybe the last time you get to pick your system, the coach, the players around you until you become a free agent. And in the NBA, you're going to have to wait until you sign your first contract and then your second contract.
So what are you, 27?
Maybe. Well, some of these guys are coming in early. But in college, I feel like you get to handpick your situation. And we've talked about it in other podcasts. There's some guys that went to situations that I'm like, how are you going to get loose? And one of the guys is Elmarko Jackson. I'm a huge Elmarko Jackson fan. I love his upside. I love his talent. But he's not going to have the same opportunities as Isaiah Collier and Stephon Castle. Now, he does have an opportunity to win a national championship because Kansas is number 1.
I'm good on that, bro.
So you
not Kansas not winning it. I'm not good on, Kansas could win a national championship, but I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
So you're more like,
I'm trying to
give me the best situation where I can win, but
if we
get in now.
I want to win showing what I can do at the next level. And I've had this opinion for a while, and it was like watching, just a quick reference to the 520 podcast with Marquise Teague was like, yo, I don't care about my national championship. I should have went to Cincinnati. It's like, if I go to Cincinnati, I don't get boxed in as this defensive-minded pass-first point guard that falls to the late first round. He's like, I should have followed what my brother Jeff did. He went to Wake Forest. He got loose. He was a middle first-round pick. He played till he was 33, 34 years old.
Made 100 M's.
There you go.
Well, Elmarko Jackson, who I'm, again, really high on, played 21 minutes. The stat line was good. 3 of 5 from the floor, 2 of 2 from the foul line, 5 assists, only 1 turnover, had 8 points. the stat line was good. I mean, like I said, 21 minutes. Kansas won by almost 40 or probably 40 plus. I'm not 99 minus 56. Anyway,
that's 43, bro.
Math is not my thing, geography. But anyway, I don't know if he's going to. I mean, the team is so good. He's not going to have the same opportunities as like Castle or Collier. But I thought he played well. What was your overall thought with his performance?
Well, a positive is that he did start, so it's not like he's coming off the bench. But it was just, I mean, they won by 40, and it's like they overpowered their opponents. It was,
North Carolina Central.
That's a D2, right?
I don't know.
I think it's a D2. No disrespect to North Carolina Central. I know the coach is active on Twitter. No disrespect, Coach Moten. But, it's just like it was hard to evaluate because, like, they were up early. They were up big. I mean, we could nitpick and say he shot an air ball.
His first shot was air ball.
His first shot was air ball. But, I mean, it's like, what's the Kansas point guard's name again?
DeJuan Harris. He was 0 for 0 from the floor.
But he's a floor general.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, is Elmarko going to get the opportunities to show that he can play point guard and be that guy? I don't know.
I was encouraged by the 5 assists. I mean, again, it was a blowout win.
But it was like 3 of them. I mean, you make the right play assists. I get it. You have to do that, But like swing against some 6'7" power forwards. I mean, like it's hard to evaluate based on that game, and then going forward, seeing that he's going to have to share everything.
Yep.
It's an interesting choice, but we'll see. Hopefully, it works out for him.
And that leads to a couple points I want to make. Speaking of guys that did not start, Elliot Cadeau did not start. He played 19 minutes, though. I mean, they won by 16, but it was closer than the score looked. 2 of 6 from the floor, 2 rebounds, 6 assists, had 5 points. I was impressed by his passing. I thought he was going to be the starter. There's a few guys that are projected first-round picks. And, of course, it's way early. It's only the first game. The season is not even 48 hours old. But I was actually surprised by the number of guys that are really highly touted that didn't start, which is going to make the rumblings about this being a weak class even louder, because you're like, hey, this guy is a projected number 1 pick, but he can't start over
23-year-old who's going to Europe next year. Yeah.
It's interesting. What do you think about Cadeau?
See, Cadeau, and this is what I don't like. Like, I'm really high on Cadeau. Like, I really believe in his game and his talent. But we got to almost look at him like how we look at the European 18-year-old dude that's playing 20 minutes a game and go from there. I mean, granted, they're not playing against the grown men, but it's like...
I don't know. College basketball is grown, man.
Yeah, they just turned on that 27-year-old in Memphis.
Quite a few guys got their waivers denied, but there's a lot of 5th, 6th-year seniors. I mean, it's like I go on a guy's ESPN profile, I'm like, dang. You played 18, 19?
Hey, I mean, look at their team. We talk about North Carolina. Cormac Ryan, 2018.
Yeah.
Armando, he was setting screens for Jeff McGinnis, it feels like, man. I mean, but again, Elliot Cadeau. Like,
I would say McGinnis, but I do feel like he played with Ed Cota.
I'm just saying, like, I don't, And then RJ Davis is a senior, and he's 6 feet. So are we going to play 2 6-foot point guards together at North Carolina?
And I like Seth Trimble, and he barely played. Actually, I had someone tell me, it's a alumni that is working with an NBA team, told me that he thought Seth Trimble should have been their point guard last year over Caleb Love. And Seth, it says he played 0 minutes, but he got up a shot. So
he played 0 minutes. I mean, yeah, the game was fake close, but I don't know, man.
All right, when we return, we got to talk about the freshman guards at Kentucky, Rob Dillingham, DJ Wagner. I think there's going to be a debate all season long. Who is the better of the 2 you're starting?
I don't think there's going to be a debate, Rob.
You don't think so?
No.
Well, I'm starting to hear the debates. I'm curious to see who James thinks is the guy. All right, before we talk about who is the better prospect between DJ Wagner and Rob Dillingham, I want to talk to you about FanDuel, because right now, if you are a new customer, you get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's right, $150 if your team wins, if you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there is not a better time to get in on the action than right now. It is very easy to use. There is a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, overs, unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to kick off the NFL season, the NBA season. FanDuel, the official partner of the NFL and Locked On. All right, last segment, wrapping this up. Kentucky. Kentucky has a loaded roster. I just wrote about it on NBABigBoard.com. If you're not subscribed, check it out, NBABigBoard.com. And the title of my article was, Does Kentucky Have Too Many Cooks in the Kitchen? And I interviewed multiple scouts, and everybody is wondering, when everyone's healthy, how are they going to make these pieces fit? They have 3 7-footers that I think could be first-round picks. Then they have guys coming off the bench. I mean, it's just a very unique situation for Coach Kyle. When I say it's unique, I mean, he's known for having strong recruiting classes. But this class, to me, is a little bit different because there's a lot of overlapping skill sets. It's not like, you know, the year you may have, was it Fox, Monk, and Bam?
Those guys fit.
They complemented each other. They played off of each other. This year, I mean, you got 2 guys that I believe are point guards. You got 3 bigs with Aaron Bradshaw, who I really like. You got Onyenso, who's injured. You got Zvonimir Ivisic, who's waiting on the NCAA. And then you have to wonder, are any of those guys better college players than Trey Mitchell? Trey Mitchell is on his 4th school. UMass, Texas, West Virginia. He's a veteran, and you know Kyle wants to win. So, I mean, it's a very unique situation. But the big topic that I've been hearing multiple people discuss is, who is the better guard between DJ Wagner and Rob Dillingham? And I know they're teammates. I don't want to sit here and compare them and draw a wedge between the two. Rob Dillingham didn't start. Wagner started along with Antonio Reeves, who I figured would start. I mean, he had a very good year last year. They thought they lost him, and then he ends up coming back. In your opinion, who had the better game, and who do you think is the better prospect between DJ Wagner and Rob Dillingham?
Man, I was discouraged with what I saw from DJ Wagner, man.
He finished strong. The first half, it was...
Yo, I was discouraged, man. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, the catch-and-shoot jump shots were some bricks.
Well, we knew that he wasn't a shooter.
Right, but in the 3 that he did make, like, you can tell shooting off the dribble is way more comfortable for him. Like we had talked about with Collier. It's way more comfortable. Jump shot looks way more fluid when he has the ball in his hands. But, I mean, you know, jump shot, he doesn't have the reputation right now as a shooter, so he's going to miss shots.
He's a scorer.
He's a scorer. I'm not trying to harp on that. But I felt like I saw some of the tunnel vision that I didn't like when I saw him play in AAU. There were plays where he would drive, and there's 3 guys on him. And I'm like, you got 3 guys, and he wants to shoot a tough floater. I'm like, 3 guys? Go hit Justin Edwards in that corner. Mm-hmm. And it was like 2 or 3, it might have been 3 or 4 plays like that. There was a play in transition where, you know, he got downhill, and there's a trailer or somebody on the wing, and he shot a tough shot. And again, he got bailed out by the foul call, but it's just, it didn't look good. And again, it could be the first game, but it looked like he reverted back to some of those bad habits that he had. To my opinion, bad habits, things that are gonna get nitpicked, like the tunnel vision. And you look at Rob. I'm gonna call him Rob Dilly. Rob Dilly looked good. Like, you know, he's a painter, man. He's an artist, crafty. Just he took some Rob Dilly shots. He's gonna do that, but like his pace looked better. Like his shot selection looked better. His decision making looked better. So it'll be interesting to see how they work together.
Very interesting.
Because I mean, you know, if we're talking about it, it means, you know, they may be hearing about it and
they got to tune it out because it's already. I mean, NBA scouts are talking about it, and I went to a Dallas Mavericks game, and I love the fact that I have a Dallas Mavericks media pass because before the game I get to talk to the scouts and the agents of the players, and you just hear so much of what's going on. And one subject that was brought up to me was, who did I think was the better of the two? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work. But my first thought was, I know DJ Wagner is going to get the, I don't want to say benefit of the doubt, but you know that if it's a tie goes to DJ Wagner. Let's just keep it real. I mean, he does have some long-standing ties to Coach Cal because his dad, you can make a case to say his dad is one of the pioneers of the one-and-done era.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that that's a strong possibility. DJ Wagner played 27 minutes. If you look at the stats, just if you look at just the numbers, it looks like he played well. 13 points, 6 of 13 from the floor, 4 assists, 3 steals. But like misreads and all that doesn't show up on the stats.
Yeah.
He was 1 of 5 from 3, got to the free throw line 1 time, missed that. So again, the numbers aren't bad, but Dillingham led the team in scoring.
Okay.
He had 17 points in 19 minutes, 6 of 11 from the floor. He was 2 of 6 from 3, got to the foul line 3 times, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Didn't turn the ball over. And Dillingham had 40 in their blue and white scrimmage. And when I spoke with a scout a few days ago, he told me that he's been to practices, and he says that they don't play on the same team in practices, and he said Dillingham goes at Wagner in practices. Do you think there's going to be a time where Calipari starts both of them? I mean, Antonio Reeves was good. Antonio Reeves, I think he was like SEC, like 6th man of the year, something like that. Very good scorer. I mean, he's their best floor spacer, in my opinion. Outside of maybe Reed Shepherd, but
I don't know how it's going to work. Because how many minutes did Reed play?
He played 21. He had 12 points, 4 of 6 from the floor.
I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know. I really don't. And you still got to figure out, they still got to find minutes for these bigs when they become available.
Yeah, definitely. So
let me ask you a question real quick. If you don't remember, that's fine. But I just pulled it up. The year they had Tyrese, Quickly, and Ashton Hagans, that was a down year for Kentucky, right? No, they finished. They were 25-6 that year. But like they had 3 guards that they started. And it'd be interesting to see if they have those same parallels because that team had 2 NBA players, and you can kind of say Tyrese took a back seat to Quickly because he was the freshman and Quickly was a sophomore, but we see Tyrese as the better pro, and maybe if Tyrese doesn't go there, he doesn't fall to Philly. Like, it's just weird. A lot.
I mean, Devin Booker was playing behind the Harrison twins. Did Tyler Hero start? No, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander didn't start. So you just don't know. I mean, that's the thing. Like, when you go to Kentucky, you know you're going to play on TV. You know that you are going to have to sacrifice. You know that. Like, you know that you're not going to really get loose at Kentucky. I mean, I guess De'Aaron Fox did, but
he was not in competition for touches.
Yeah.
Because Fox was going to set up Monk.
That team really, their pieces really complemented each other. But yeah, Dillingham played well. But like I said, I've heard that he's been the better of the 2 in practices, which is impressive to me because he should be real, man. He stunk at the Global Jam.
Yeah, but see, look, he got humbled, man. He came back and was like, I'm not leaving. I'm going to get better.
Put on like 22 pounds. They say he came into school, came on campus weighing like $155.
He looked like a little kid.
And now they say, hey, he's at like 177. But I mean, I think that's dope. I mean, the calls are coming. As soon as he struggled at the Global Jam, the calls were coming from schools like, hey, man, get down with us. I'm willing to bet that, like I said, the college season is not 48 hours older. I'm willing to bet that some calls are being made now about joining the transfer portal because there's been quite a few guys that were highly touted freshmen that did not play a lot of minutes or didn't start. So we'll get to those, and I'm going to give it a few more games before I start wondering what's going on. All right. In the next episode, we are going to talk about, in my opinion, outside of Alex Sarr, the hottest prospect in the basketball world right now, That is Nikola Topic. Me and James are going to share our thoughts on Nikola Topic, the 6'7" Serbian point guard that is, I mean, he's hooping right now. I think he's put himself in position to possibly be a lottery pick. So stay tuned for the next episode with me and James. We'll share our thoughts on Nikola Topic. You know, we'll start off talking about topics, but we can end up talking about a few other guys in the episode. But once again, thank you for making the Locked On NBA Big Board podcast your first listen of the day. Once again, it's Rafael with my brother James, and we are